Good morning. For this Monday, we are starting with Unit 5. Hey, that's on page 38 in your spelling book. We're spelling the long O sound. This is simply a review here from the last few units, but if you remember looking at this chart here coming up, that the long vowel sound actually says their name, meaning we know these letters are A, E, I, O, U. And when it's a long sound, you actually say that, A, E, I, O, U, like table, cake. So we did the long A, E, and I. We also did the short vowels, which is O, U. Now we're dealing today, this whole unit, this whole week, on the long O sound. But here's the tricky part. There's a lot of different spellings here. Some of these spellings you see here are ones we're not even going to do this week. Man, there's some different spellings, and that's why you can't just put an O every time you hear the long O sound. We did this, I think it was week 2 with the bossy E, right? Where it changes this short O when you add the E at the end to the long O, like bone. Well, sometimes, like this O, it just sounds like it's O. Excuse me, just spelled with the long O, like in robot. Sometimes it's OW, like in cow. Sometimes it's OA, like in coat. It all has a long O in every single word, but it's spelled different ways. Now, here's a better example of all the different ways. Again, we're really going to focus on these 3 here, but there are also these in our lesson today. In fact, just like we had in last week's, there's going to be a word that has a long O sound that doesn't even have an O in the word. So that's why you just got to be really careful with spelling these words. And here's the example. Here's a homework example of what I mean. If you notice, you're going to hear the long O sound in every word. Coach, blow, float, hold. Here's that word I'm talking about. Please notice this word is sew. It's not the sew, S-W. This is the sew like if you have to sew a button on your pants or sew together a rip in your pants, something like that. But not a single O in the word, even though it correctly is in the long O sound unit. Here we have though. Look at this. It sounds like it should just be spelled T-H-O, but it's not. It's T-H-O-U-G-H. And so just to help you learn the different spellings, it splits it up into 4 categories. Notice, look at A. It asks you to write 3 words, 1, 2, 3. B, it asks you to write 3 words, 1, 2, 3. C, and so on and so forth. So for letter A, it says write 3 basic words spelled with the long O sound. That little dash on top of it means the long O sound, spelled O-A. There's 3 of them. Look for all the words spelled with O-A. Well, coach is one of them. So you write coach right here. Float, that's another one. O-A. F-L-O-A-T. Soap, that's another one. S-O-A-P. Okay, I'm kind of giving you all the answers here, huh? But B, write 3 basic words with the long O sound spelled O-W. Like row. Okay, put that here. Not so, that's not O-W, that's E-W. Row and blow. There's one more you can find. C, find 4 basic words with a long O sound spelled with just an O. Just an O. There's 4 of them, find them. And then, letter D, write 2 basic words with long O sounds spelled in different ways or other ways. And one of the words doesn't even have an O in it. This is your assignment, guys. Lord's blessings to you as you praise your Savior. We'll continue to talk about the long O sound for the rest of the week till we have our test on Friday.